Hi, I'm Adam Feuerstein, PwC's National Real Estate Tax Technical Leader, and this is PwC's Tax Insights in Brief. Today I'm going to focus on the one big beautiful bill that passed the House and how it impacts real estate. And it's important to note that this has only passed the House. It still has to go through the Senate, where it very well could be changed and signed by the president. But these are the proposals as they are today, and so people may want to start getting ahead of these provisions and think about how they might impact their real estate business. But first, a couple of things that aren't in the bill. One is limit on state business deductions that people were worried were going to be there, which is commonly referred to as sea salt, and people were concerned that that would limit a real estate business ability to deduct property taxes and income taxes. That looks to be safe, at least for now, under the House bill. With respect to carried interest, again, one never knows what might happen when it goes through the Senate, but at least as of now, there's no carried interest provisions in the House version of the bill. But there are a lot of potential increased taxes for investors in the House version of the bill. There's new Section 899, which implicates discriminatory tax regimes. So for non-US countries that US deems to be discriminatory because they have digital service taxes or other regimes that discriminate against US taxpayers or deemed to discriminate against US taxpayers, they have increased taxes of up to 20% that can be assessed on those taxpayers. So people will want to focus on that. Those could be investors in real estate that might think they have a 15% treaty rate, and over time that treaty rate, for example, could go up to 35%. 892 benefits or benefits for sovereigns could be eliminated as well. So those taxpayers could go from a 0 to 30% tax rate right away, and that could get increased another 20%. And even US corporations that are owned by individuals or entities from discriminatory tax regimes could be subject to higher taxes as well. So that's something that people will want to focus on. There's an increased excise tax for university endowments up to 21%. That's currently 1.4%, so obviously that would be a large increase for university endowments if it were to pass the Senate and remain in there. And excise taxes on private foundations are also increased under the bill to a maximum of 10%. There's a phase out of clean energy and credits that those that have been planning to invest in energy credits or planning to have buildings that are energy efficient and planning to use those credits, those may get phased out if the bill were to pass as currently drafted. And public REITs would have additional loss of deductions, or any public company, but public REITs since we're talking about real estate, loss of deductions for certain high income individuals or officers under an expanded version of 162M. So people that work with public REITs will want to focus on that. And again, with TCJA provisions, which was the main focus of the bill, and those are the provisions that were passed under the prior Trump administration in that tax bill, those are rolled forward and made permanent for the most part. Some key differences that are relevant to real estate: the 199A business deduction is increased from 20% to 23%, again, assuming it passes as currently drafted or as it passed the House. Qualified BDC interest dividends would be eligible for the 23% deduction. So those that deal with mortgage debt may think that that's a good vehicle, or at least might look at that more closely as a vehicle to hold loans on a going forward basis. There's also immediate expensing for personal property through 2029, so certain real estate companies that own personal property could take advantage of that as well. There's also a facelift to the Opportunity Zone program, so that gets expanded, and effectively there would be a new version of the program that would roll out through 2033. There would be new rules for designation, so there would be different opportunity zones than there are today. There would be more limited in who can qualify, but more likely to be in rural areas, and some other benefits if you do open up an opportunity zone in a rural area. There's a basis bump, as there was under the prior version of the Opportunity Zone program, but it's only 10% instead of 15%. And actually, before, to take advantage of the program, you had to invest capital gain. Now people can invest up to $10,000 per person, again, all assuming that it passes as it's drafted in the one big beautiful bill. Now, with respect to the SALT deduction, there's a new limit on the SALT deduction. It's in a different place in the code, but probably from a practical perspective, real estate owners aren't directly affected, but those in the asset management business could have their deductions even more limited than they were before, as the workarounds that people used by having partnerships pay taxes, SALT taxes on their behalf, wouldn't apply on a go-forward basis. The deduction is increased to $40,000 where it was $10,000 before, but there's a phase out at about $500,000. So again, limited ability potentially to actually take advantage of that increase in the limit to $40,000 to the extent that individuals are high income taxpayers. So again, a lot of changes for real estate, and real estate owners and investors will want to be thinking about how these changes may impact them, how they want to address them as they go forward. And for more details, you can see the attached newsletter. And thank you for watching PwC's Tax Insights in Brief.